In the last exercise we saw how we could create a simple viewport based on the drawing extents and put that onto our drawing sheet, which was great for when we wanted something as simple as would actually fit on a drawing sheet all at the same scale. However, as we see here, and we can see the border outline there in white, we have a little bit of a problem. We can't fit it all onto the one sheet at the one scale, at the same scale there. And if we look up at our model space workspace settings, we see that that border represents an A1 sheet at 1:50, and we're working in millimeters. So as we see, it won't all fit on. So what we need to do is be a little bit more creative. And what we can do here is create a number of viewports of differing outlines and sizes at different scales and place those onto the one drawing sheet. So what we're going to do here is have a look at how we can do that. So fixing in our minds what we're trying to achieve with our chosen layout, we'll go to a blank drawing sheet. So this is already configured for the size of the drawing sheet, and we see there we've got our A1 drawing, that's 841 by 594, and we've got our title sheet on there, and we've got some text on there as well, some general notes. So going back to our drawing model, let's have a look at how we create the viewports. So we'll come down the menu list until we get to the Sheets tools, which gives us the various commands there for creating our viewports and sheets. Down towards the bottom we see Object Viewport. Now this is going to give us the ability to define an outline for a viewport actually on the model space. So we can pick an area around the drawing that we've created and then place a view of that onto our drawing sheet. So let's pick that one, and we see that we have various options. We have a polygon for a trace, we have a simple rectangle such as we had before, and a circle. So let's choose polygon. It says enter the points for the viewport object. So if we zoom in on here, and we can have a look and say, well, we're going to start here, we're going to come across, and then we'll go up, and we don't need to keep in straight lines, but that's what we're going to do here, and then we'll just do an option end. So that is the outline of the view or the viewport that we want to create here. So we'll go into our drawing sheet and we'll pick the complementary command, the create object viewport, which will actually create that view onto our drawing sheet. So we pick on that, and it says what scale would we like this to be at? Well, 1:50 would seem reasonable here, so we'll pick 1:50. Auto fit, incidentally, will grey out the scale because it will just fit it in to a size that you define. So we'll remove the tick from there. Enable relevant detailing. Well, we're not going to delve into that one too much here, but suffice to say that you can actually turn off layers automatically based on the scale that you are actually representing the drawing on the model, on the sheets there. So say OK, and we get a basic rectangle. Now this is the all-encompassing rectangle for that viewport. When we place it down, you see that the view that we get is the one that we defined on the model space. So now we can go back to our model space, and we could look at our elevations, and we could again go to the object viewport. This time we can select rectangle and just simply drag a box around the elevations that we want to create. Go back onto our chosen sheet, create object viewport. This time we'll choose a smaller scale, 1:100 will do fine for this, and OK that, and you see we get a smaller rectangle because we're actually showing that at a much smaller scale. Then one simple thing left to do here, we'll go back to our model and we'll look at our detail. Okay, so we'll just do a quick regen there to show us all the detail on the insulation. Create a circular viewport, and we're just going to define that by picking the center point and then dragging our circle, and there we are. That defines the area that we're going to consider. Back into a regular viewport, create that viewport, and this time we're going to go up in scale to 1:10. OK that, and there's our view, and we can place that down wherever we want on our drawing sheet. Now if we've put that in slightly the wrong place as I have here, that's no great problem. We can just move things around, so picking them up, just using the grips to realign them. And there's our our finished drawing sheet. So from our model, where we have a number of views, we have the elevation, section and plans, and we want to represent them at different scales on our drawing sheet, we can do that with the object viewport and create object viewport commands. One final thing we'll consider here is how to recognize or identify where your viewports were created, because we have an instance here, fairly simple drawing, but we have different sheets, one with a simple viewport with just a rectangle with everything at the same scale, or we have the irregular viewports one where we've got different viewports, a number of them at different scales and different sizes. So how can we identify those on our model space if we're coming back to edit the drawing? Well, the show viewport tool is very good for this. We pick on that, it asks us which sheet we're concerned with, so if we go for the irregular viewports, OK that, you see it identifies not only the elevations, the plans and section, but also section detail there. Those are just virtual lines, so if we do a regen they will disappear, but as you can see, going back to our drawing sheet, that's precisely what we have with our viewports.